Greetings YouTube, this is your resident Landcruiser nut, and today we're going to be working on the 1992 Toyota Landcruiser 3FE. First I'd like to thank all of my subscribers so far. I know it's been a while since I posted. Got the truck back from overseas and now we're back in the United States. So happy to be back, happy to have the truck back and provide you with some more content. So today we're going to be working on my charcoal canister. I am having some symptoms that go back to that canister being the problem, having a hard time filling the truck all the way up with fuel. And then also when I disconnect the fuel cap and unscrew it, the hissing noise that comes out of it is so loud that other people near the fuel pump actually turn around and look at me thinking the truck's gonna explode or something. So I ordered a new VC120 charcoal canister that is sitting right here, and we are going to install this today. Now the inspiration for this video actually came from another YouTuber named Cruisin' Miles, and he actually did this same procedure to his truck 4 years ago. He provided a great video. He also provided me with a lot of information and a lot of things that I wanted to do before I made this video. So his video was great. It shows you exactly how to do the procedure. So I wanted to take what I learned from his video and do an update in 2023. The very first thing I want to tell you is that in Cruisin' Miles' video back at 4 years ago, he mentioned that this VC120 was $49 from AutoZone with free shipping, and he got it the next day. I can tell you this is no longer $49. I paid $87 with this. There was no next day free shipping. They charged me to do it, and it still didn't get there the very next day. It took 4 days to get it, and in total I am into this VC120 for $99, and that includes the shipping, and that's based here in North Carolina, taxes and everything. Also, I went ahead and got some longer bolts, and washers and nuts. This is for the bracket that goes around the charcoal canister. You'll see what I'm talking about when I get the old one off. So I just wanted to go ahead and have these on stock and ready to go. And then I went ahead and, learning from Cruisin' Miles' video, got a little bit longer hose here for when we make the connection, because if you look on the old canister, the tank and the purge valve barbs actually go straight up, where these are turned that direction. So with that, let's get into taking the old one off and getting this all swapped out. So what we're going to start with is removing these two hoses. You just squeeze on these, pull them up. I've already kind of broke them loose. They weren't that hard. These are going to be the hoses I'm replacing, so I recommend, if you know these are original hoses, go ahead and get some new ones, get them taken off and get them replaced. And if you're doing this modification, you're probably going to want a little bit longer line anyway. That way you don't have to worry about going back to the hardware store afterwards. There are 4 12mm bolts. We're going to take the whole bracket, the whole assembly off. So there's 2 on the top here and 2 on the bottom, and then you have another piece of hose that's coming out of the bottom of this canister. So after I get these 12mm nuts off and get this part up here taken down, we'll jump underneath the truck and I'll see if I can show you the hose that comes out from the bottom, or we might be able to just pull the whole thing up with the hose. Actually, we'll have to get up here because we got to disconnect it from the other end. So let me take these nuts off real quick. Again, they're 12mm. All right, there's one. Put that on the collection tray. See if we can get this other top one. There's the second one. And let's see what else we got. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to get underneath the truck to get these other 2. So we'll jump underneath the truck and get reset up and show you that. There's the canister, and you have another bolt right there and another one right up over there. So you're gonna need about another 12mm, and I would recommend getting an extension. And then we got to pull that hose off the bottom. So let's get that done and we'll get this thing off. Okay, I got those bolts off. So next thing we're gonna do is disconnect this hose that's right here, and then we'll be able to pull the canister out from the top. Okay, what you're gonna notice, we got the canister off, and what you're gonna notice here is that the VC120 is a little larger in diameter. That's why we got the longer stainless steel bolts here to make these bands that go around it still fit. So there's a 10mm bolt right here that you take off, and once you do that, you can take the rest of the bands off, and we can start getting everything cleaned up and getting our system set up to put back on the truck. The other thing to be aware of, as you turn this bolt, there's a strong possibility that this too will turn, but you might be able to just put a finger or put another ratchet on to be able to get this out. So let's get this band taken off and start getting set back up to put everything back together. Before I put these back together, I wanted to show you that the problem you're going to have with the larger diameter of the VC20. So what I did was I put a bracket around this one, and I put one of the bracket around the original. Now, as you can see, when this bolt is on, and with this nut, this locations are the mounting holes that go to the bracket on the truck. The problem you're gonna have is when you put a longer bolt in, and this is a 2.5 inch bolt that I got to work, you're gonna see that it's going to throw off your mounting locations to the bracket because this is out wider. So you're only gonna get maybe 1 or 2 of these bolts to fit back in their original location, and that should be enough to hold this in place. In cruisers, in the original video, he used a zip tie. I wouldn't recommend using a zip tie in the engine bay because it's just gonna get hot, and over time this is just going to possibly break. So just go get yourself a longer bolt. Like I said, this is a 2.5 inch. You might be able to get away with a 2, but I recommend just going with a 2.5 inch. So I'm gonna put this other bracket back on this new canister. We're gonna get it back installed into the truck, and then we're gonna cut some new line for the increased length that we're gonna need. So I hope this part's been informative to let you know what really the only problem is going with the newer canister. I did something a little bit different because I wanted to show you. I took the whole bracket off so that you could see how this is gonna sit in the truck. Now this part right here is attached to the frame, so I went ahead and unbolted it and showed you exactly what you kind of got to do. Now keep in mind this is a little bit bigger, so what you want to do is you got to set this correctly, and this is now why I recommend you take this off, because the bottom part in here needs to be able to fluctuate, and if you put it in too low, you're going to be hitting the bottom down here. So I gave it just enough room in case it needs to expand. As you can see, I got 2 bolts in right on this side. Let me turn this around here. Got 2 bolts in on that side, and this thing is pretty secure. It's not going anywhere. So like I said, I just wanted to do this so you could see exactly how this is mounted. You're not going to be able to get these 2 bolts in over here because of how much this is separated, but this should work, and this is probably why I suggest you get a little bit more of the hose, because you're going to need a little bit more length in order to set this correctly. So this is the whole thing. I'm going to get it bolted back into the truck. It's just a bolt here, here, and here, and hook up these vacuum lines back to this. So that's it. Let me get it in the truck and we'll go from there. What I wanted to show you is how to get that bracket off real quick while I got it. It's really easy to get to these bolts right here, and now that I've done this, I highly recommend you do it this way as well to ensure that you get that canister sitting correctly. It's just 3 bolts. You can see 1 there. Let me try to hold this up. You got 1 here, 1 here, and 1 right here. And then that bracket comes off. You just got to undo a couple of hoses. And this is really a cleaner and easier way, actually, now that I think about it, to go about it. I got everything back together. Just want to let you see this in the light. I got all the bolts back in. I got a little bit longer hoses. I'm actually going to cut this one down a little bit more. Going in, this thing is in there. It is not moving. Really the hardest part about putting this back in is that middle barb right there is a lot bigger than your old ones. So getting this new hose to slide on there is pretty difficult, but it is doable. I really hope this provided you with a little bit of more insight to putting a new charcoal filter on there. I'm gonna drive it around a little bit and check out the gas cap pressure and everything and give you an update on that. So let's get on the road and give it a drive and see how it does. All right, so I've been driving this truck around for a couple hours now to test it out. Let's see what happens. Let's get you real close. Nothing. Wow. Means we did a good job. I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video, and thank again for everyone subscribing. If this video helped you out, please give a thumbs up, and also if you have any questions, please just comment below, and we'll see you the next time.